happy readers. It's Shed Time Stories with Issy. Are you ready to share a new story? Well, I have chosen a rather wizardy and adventurous story to share. The title of the book is Clippody Clock, the time-travelling camel, Day of the Dinosaurs. If you have this book at home, you can read along with me. The author, the person who has written this story, and the illustrator, the person who has designed all the pictures, is Romana Brook. Now in this story, we are going to meet Clippody Clock. He is a camel who can travel through time. Now Clippody Clock lives with Wizzardy Ogg, and Wizzardy Ogg's grandson Merlin has come to stay. And that's when the adventure starts. Shall we read and find out what happens? Clippody Clock, the time-travelling camel, Day of the Dinosaurs. Clippody Clock is the camel you see, and our journey begins in his hollowed-out tree. He lives in a magical forest, all hazy with fog, with his very best friend, Wizzardy Ogg. But there's something special about Clippody Clock you should know. He can travel in time, to and fro. Wizzardy Ogg yelled, "Excellent news! Merlin is coming to stay! But we need to get this place tidy and clean. He's already on his way." With a flick of his wand, the tree house was cleaned. The floors were sparkling, the windows gleamed. But Clippody Clock, whose face had dropped, was not so excited, it seemed. "Clippody Clock, what's wrong, my friend?"
"Well, last time he drove me round the bend. That dragon of his chased me all day, and I really didn't want to play."
"That was great fun! I almost forgot. But he's not bringing Gary. Don't get your humps in a knot." As if by magic, Merlin did appear. "Hello, Grampy Ogg, it's me, I'm here." "Good to see you, my boy. Is that a new toy?" "It's my T-Rex, Grampy Ogg. Listen, it roars. Can we go again to see the real dinosaurs?" "A splendid idea. Let's hop to it. But you can't bring any back like the last time we went. Poor Clippody Clock is still upset from the Gary incident." "Clippody!" Merlin called out as he ran through the house. But Clippody was hiding, quiet as a mouse. The bedroom, the bathroom, and the kitchen too. "Oh, Clippody Clock, where are you?" "Found you. Guess what? Grampy Ogg says we're going to the time of the dinosaurs again. Isn't that great?"
"Wonderful, Merlin,"
said Clippody Clock, emerging from the cupboard.
"But first you'll have to set the date."
Wizzardy Ogg called, "Are we ready, gang? Now the era we need is a long time ago." "Don't tell me, Grampy Ogg. I remember, you know." Merlin turned the magical clock to 70 million years in the past. Then they all disappeared with an almighty blast. They reappeared, standing by 3 giant eggs, all snug in a nest. "Maybe It's a family of snakes, Merlin guessed.
I think not. We'd better skedaddle fast,
Wizzardy Ogg suggested as something swooped down where the babies were nested. Duck! Yelled Merlin.
That's not a duck, it's a dragon,
Clippody Clock exclaimed.
Actually, it's a pteranodon,
Wizzardy Ogg explained.
Who cares? Look at the size of that beak. Let's get out of here,
Clippody Clock said, and quick as a flash, he turned and fled. Wizzardy Ogg and Merlin followed swiftly thereafter. Clippody Clock was crying.
What a disaster!
It's still chasing us, Grumpy Ogg. We can't outrun it. Use your magic, or we'll be its beast. Wizzardy Ogg turned to face the terrifying beast. With a wave of his wand, he brought down a blizzard to save them all from the terror-flying lizard. The trio had escaped from the pteranodon nest, but this creepy Cretaceous jungle was no place for a rest. Clippody Clock gasped.
Did you hear that, Wizzardy Ogg?
As he dove for cover behind a fallen mossy log. Merlin looked around and peeped through the thorns. There was a dinosaur grazing, all spiky with horns. It's a Triceratops! Awesome! My favourite, said Merlin with a smile on his face as a cautious Clippody Clock looked up from his hiding place.
That's a plant eater, and they're peaceful. Am I right?
Correct. They eat greens and only attack if you give them a fright.
Then leave this to me,
Clippody Clock said with a confident roar as he strolled over to the giant horned herbivore.
Oh, he is bigger than he looked from back there,
Clippody Clock said to himself, pausing in his track, turning for a moment and looking back. You can do it, Merlin whispered, egging him on to move closer. Clippody took a deep breath and gained his composure.
Here goes nothing. Let's give it a try. Hello, Mr. Triceratops,
croaked Clippody, whose voice had gone dry. The magnificent beast reared its giant head, looking up from his lunch in the scrumptious flower bed. Clippody Clock, is that you? It's me, Keith. Clippody Clock breathed a sigh of relief.
Oh my gosh, Keith, you have grown. It's okay, guys. It's Keith, and he's all alone.
Merlin was so excited to see their trike pal all grown up. Last time we were here, you were just a pup. Well, Keith, are we glad to see you? Why? What's wrong, my time-travelling crew? Well, our adventure so far hasn't been the best. We ended up in a pteranodon nest. The pteranodon was mean and scary. She chased us down the mountain. I'm not surprised. She's wary. The last time you were here, one of her eggs vanished without trace. Oops, muttered Merlin, a nervous grin on his face. Anyway, you three, come with me. There's something very special I want you to see. Keith led them through the bushes into a clearing where Mrs. Triceratops was guarding her nest of eggs. But as they were nearing, she jumped up on hind legs. Roaring so loud at the sight of intruders, Wizzardy Ogg's hat blew off of his head. "It's okay, dear, don't panic. They're my friends," Keith quickly said. "Sorry, you can't be too careful. Did you hear what happened to Mrs. Pteranodon? Dreadful!" "Look!" Merlin shouted, glad for the subject to change. "Your eggs! They are doing something quite strange." They started to crack all the way around, and tiny tykes tumbled onto the ground. "They're so cute!" everybody declared. But their joy was cut short as the babies got scared. Their happy moment was drowned by an earth quaking, shaking, and thunderous sound. As the thunder got closer, they realized it was footsteps they were hearing. Before they could run, a shadow cast over the clearing. They all looked up to see a monstrous dinosaur and defended their ears from its terrifying roar. The mighty beast, with terrible teeth, towered over the trio of terrified Triceratops tots, who were wailing and crying lots and lots. "Oh, crumbs, it's a T-Rex!" Wizzardy Ogg muttered whilst adjusting his specs. Merlin took his toy T-Rex out of his pocket. "Yeah, that's a T-Rex, all right. Stay with your babies, Keith, and keep out of sight." Wizzardy Ogg, Merlin and Clippody Clock swallowed their fear. They bravely stepped forward, knowing it was up to them from here. To distract T-Rex, Clippody Clock took the sky. That's right, this camel can fly. The monster's jaws snapped shut, missing Clippody by a hair's length. "To beat this beast, we'll take brains, not strength." Wizzardy Ogg and Merlin pointed their wands at the sky. "It's going to have to be a big spell. Let's give this one a try." Boom! Flash! And a splash! Wizzardy wee! Reverse history! Make this T-Rex as small as can be. Merlin laughed at the sight of the terrifying predator shrinking before his eyes, smaller and smaller to a pocket size. The Triceratops cheered and thanked the heroic three. Even the babies rubbed against Merlin's knee. "You are most welcome, little ones. So what are you going to call them, Keith?" Let me see. I can think of 3 great names, and I'm sure you'll agree. Ogg, Merlin, and Clippody. Wizzardy Ogg, Merlin, and Clippody Clock beamed with pride. "This has been the best adventure ever!" Merlin cried. Oh, what an incredible adventure they all had! Clippody Clock taking them back to the time of the dinosaurs. Would you like to meet a dinosaur? I wonder, could you use your imagination and make up a spell like Clippody Clock, Merlin and Wizzardy Ogg? I hope you've enjoyed today's Shed Time Stories. And if you want to, you can like, share, follow and subscribe to Shed Time Stories. And then you will be ready for the next book for us to share together. Bye-bye.